Jason Moment here doing a live video today. And today we are going to be talking about retargeting and remarketing. Now, generally speaking, when we're talking about retargeting and remarketing, I want to give you this general concept. Give you this outline, and then what I plan on doing in this video is laying out the best platforms that you should be using, kind of, whatever market that you're in. So retargeting and remarketing works regardless of where you are in business. So I have helped businesses in e-com, in software, and service-based industries, and I can tell you that remarketing and retargeting is often the best money that you will ever spend. So what I want to do is give you kind of a brief overview of what retargeting and remarketing looks like, and then we'll get into each of these specifics. And hello, guys. I see that you're watching already. This makes me happy. So, okay, so let's talk about retargeting and remarketing. And here's the deal, guys. If you've got questions, drop them below. Happy to answer your questions. Like I said, retargeting and remarketing, simply the easiest money in your marketing game. Now, here's kind of the concept. So remarketing, retargeting, for those of you who are unaware of it, what you're doing is you are putting messages in front of people who've already come to your website, already displayed interest in you, already watched so much of a video. And this is why the ROI is so good on it. It's because they have already expressed intent. So imagine this, imagine that you are a marketer, a business owner, a part of a marketing team. Your whole objective is to get people to your website, right? The whole purpose of your funnel is to present your brand to an audience. That brand takes action. They go to your website and hopefully they take you up on your offer. But we know that not everybody always takes you up on your offer. And so this is where retargeting and remarketing are so useful. And, just to give you some numbers, to date, I've helped businesses revenue over $50 million using funnels. And I can tell you by far, the best money that businesses ever spend is always retargeting and remarketing, because I want you to think about it this way. Like you're using your time, your money, and your energy getting people to your website, right? You're doing outreach, you're doing organic outreach, maybe you're doing cold email, maybe you're doing YouTube content, maybe you're doing podcasts, newsletters, all of these things. People come to check you out. But very rarely does somebody just like come to your website the very first time, be like, hey, I'm going to buy from you. I'm going to schedule a demo. I'm going to book a call. I'm going to do, whatever. So that's why retargeting works. It helps keep you top of mind. And the way that I like to leverage retargeting and remarketing is through paid ads. So here's kind of the thing with paid ads, though. People are a little bit hesitant to get into paid ad because it literally costs you money, right? And mistakes literally cost you as well. So these retargeting and remarketing platforms all have their certain advantages. And I kind of want to talk about each one of these today. So I'm going to go to the chat. I want to make sure I don't see any comments yet. If you have comments, if you are in a specific niche, if you're in a specific industry, let me know because I can kind of speak to that. Like I said, to date, helped businesses revenue over $50 million. Whether it's in SaaS, whether it's in e-com, whether it's in service-based industries, this will work for anyone out there. And that's why I'm such a big proponent of this. All right. So let's talk about the one that's probably the easiest to get started with, and that's Facebook and Instagram. So why I would recommend Facebook and Instagram is, well, one-to-one. Well, if you're B2B and you're selling to other businesses, chances are that they are on Facebook. Why? Because they know that they have to be selling on Facebook. They know they have to put out some, content, time, and energy on Facebook as well. The same holds true for Instagram. Why? Because these two platforms are extremely used by multiple people. But here's the advantages, specifically for Facebook and Instagram. The advantage is when you're on the back end, what you're trying to do in remarketing, retargeting is you're trying to create audiences. You're trying to segment people. So remember, you don't want to just advertise to the people who've never been to your website. That's not retargeting or remarketing. That's just kind of top of funnel inbound marketing. So with retargeting and remarketing, you're trying to create these segments. And all of the platforms out there, the ones that I'm going to be speaking to today, Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, by far the easiest spot to start is Facebook and Instagram. It's because you are able to segment audiences that much easier. And I'm not going to get too into the specifics, but if you are in e-commerce, definitely use Facebook and Instagram because you can use some really cool placements. So if somebody looks at a specific, item on your website or is interested in buying it, you can put that directly in the feed. I'm not going to get into e-com retargeting this because I'm just trying to kind of do an overall video out of all of this. If you have questions about e-com retargeting, more than happy to speak to that. So the easiest spot to get started on retargeting remarketing is generally Facebook and Instagram, because it's so easy to create audiences. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, you need a pixel on your website. And if you don't have a pixel on your website, you're essentially not capturing any traffic that's coming your way. So this is kind of the biggest problem that I see with businesses who want to set up ads or set up retargeting and remarketing. You have to put these things called pixels or cookies on your website. And once somebody kind of clicks on your website, they're tagged or they're pixeled. So you can go back and put stuff in front of them. We're all aware of this. Like every single one of us knows what retargeting and remarketing is, because we've all seen it. We've all been to e-commerce stores. We've all tried to buy something, didn't, left, and then we see that brand everywhere. We're well familiar with it. But the starting point is actually capturing that person by placing a cookie on their browser. And so the easiest spot to get started with this is always with Facebook and Instagram. You just need the Facebook pixel on your website. By the way, if you want to learn how to do this for free, look at the link below. There's a coaching program that I have. It's my free coaching program. It is free because I want to coach you. The whole goal is to do business with you. Not going to lie. I'm going to coach you how to get started in this, get kind of the foundation set, and then we'll go from there. So the link below in the description right now will tell you how to get a Facebook pixel and Instagram pixel, or just the Facebook pixel. Instagram runs off the same pixel. So go ahead and get that pixel on there first. So Facebook and Instagram, again, by far the easiest spots to get started on retargeting and remarketing, primarily because the audience segmentation is so small and the logic is really easy. Meaning, I can say if somebody came to this specific web page, if somebody scrolled so far, if somebody clicked a certain button, I can put my ad in front of you. If you added something to cart, if you were about to schedule something but didn't, I can put a message back in front of you and come back. And here's why retargeting and remarketing are so powerful. It's because they're programmatic, meaning this. So I've got my phone in front of me right here. When I hop on to Facebook or Instagram later today, what I will do is this: immediately I'm going to get hit with retargeting ads. So that's the power of retargeting, because, I mean, think about it this way. I have no issue with putting out organic content. I'm doing this live right now, right? So I am using organic content to get people to my website. You're probably doing the same through blogs, through YouTube content, through posts, whatever. But then once you get somebody to your website, you just want to automate the whole thing. Like, that's the whole point of retargeting and remarketing. You want your website to be programmed to be your best salesperson. This salesperson, your website, won't take days off. It will never call in sick. It will work 24 hours a day. It can work, it can just continue to put ads in front of people until they come back and seal the deal. And then if you set up the logic right, if somebody comes back and they do opt into your offer, then you just kick them out of the funnel and put them into a new one. So there is a little bit of logic involved in this, and that's kind of the best part about all of this. But the retargeting engine, just think about your website, should be your best salesperson, hands down. And the best spot to get started on that is Instagram. Now, I don't have a ton of time today, so I need to kind of move on to the next platform that we're going to be talking about. And if you have questions, here's what I will do. Drop them below. If I don't get to them today, I'll try to get to them today. But if I don't, then go ahead, drop a comment, and I'll try to follow up and make another live video on this. So Instagram and Facebook, by far the easiest spots to get started. Probably the lowest hurdle is probably going to be pretty easy. And if you're like, hey, Jason, this is a common question that I should address. How much money should I be spending on retargeting and remarketing a day? You can get started with $5 a day. It's not like $5 a day will go a long, long way when you're only targeting the people who are already your hottest leads. So you're only spending money on the people who've literally displayed more intent than everybody else. And you can highlight, or you can just really zoom in on those folks and spend your ad spend there. Now, what else can you be doing? Let's go to this one. This is one of my favorites. So Google Display, YouTube, and search. So these are all bundled under Google Ads. So Google Ads really has 4 ad platforms. It's really Google Search, Google Display, Google Shopping, which I'm not going to talk about, and then YouTube. And so let me kind of talk about some of these perks. So Google Display is one of my favorite remarketing strategies, primarily because it is free until somebody clicks. So if you come to my website, if you come to HACKTICS.com, you're going to leave, and then you're going to start seeing my ads everywhere. And I can actually program how many ads you're going to see of mine a day. I think it's 4 at the moment for display. I don't want to bombard you. I don't want to annoy you. I want to do tasteful remarketing to you. So what I've done is I can go into Google Ads. I can set up this Google display to fire basically across your browser. So if you are browsing online, so here's kind of the play. Like, let me give you the whole 30,000 foot view here. I want to put my message back in front of you on Google, like when you're browsing anywhere on the internet, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Those are the spots that I want to start. And I'm going to kind of speak to LinkedIn and Twitter in a little bit. So that's a benefit of using kind of this omni-channel or omnipresent retargeting. You're just trying to hit people everywhere. And so there's certain advantages to each platform. So the disadvantage with Google Displays is really low converting. It's not going to serve you well. You're not going to, you're not going to close a lot of deals using Google Display, but that's not the point. The point of using Google Display is to stay top of mind for next to nothing. Like I said, you don't get charged for impressions. If I were to look at my what I've been charged from Google, probably the past month, I'm going to say I probably have thousands of impressions for a couple of dollars. So that is all part of the master plan. You shouldn't just get in with one platform and only one platform, because you want to be omnipresent. You want to have this omni-channel sort of presence wherever people go. And like I said, you want to be tasteful with this. So Google Display, it's free to use until somebody clicks, and then you're going to get charged something like 40 cents or something like that. I'll pay that every day. Now there's a really similar avenue for retargeting on YouTube that people don't know about as well. So most of the time when people go to YouTube, they just kind of Google Ads, and then set up YouTube ads. They just kind of go with what Google recommends, which is something you should never do, by the way. What you should do is you should go into the campaign settings, and you use a setting called CPV. It means cost per view. So literally, you're not going to be charged per impression on YouTube, which is what most people do. It's where Google gets most of that money from all those noobs. What you should be doing is you should be using the CPV setting, meaning you won't get charged until somebody views your video. And a view is actually 30 seconds. So you can put your videos back in front of people and they can watch up to 30 seconds, and you're not going to get charged until somebody hits that 30-second mark. And if they do watch up to 30 seconds, you're probably only going to get charged probably 4 to 5 cents. Now, I don't know about you, but again, that is probably the best money that you're going to be spending online. If you can put your message in front of somebody, they watch it for at least 30 seconds, you can pay, 4 cents, 5 cents for that. That is a lot of content, a lot of value, a lot of education that you're presenting to somebody. So you're trying to earn their trust doing that. So there's really big perks to using Google Display. You're not going to get charged until somebody clicks. There's really good perks of using YouTube remarketing because you're not going to get charged until somebody watches a full 30 seconds. But here's the deal. Google's not going to hand you these settings out of the box. They're not going to say, hey, Jason, this is a way to best utilize our platform and to maximize your ad spend. That is not the way that it goes. Okay. Like I said, these are pay to play platforms, and you don't know really what to leverage and how to set up your settings until you've spent a lot of money on this or you've done your due diligence. And so that is one of the main reasons why I like to coach people and just help them avoid kind of all of this, just wasteful ad spend. Because if you are in Google Ads, if you're like looking in the settings and it says recommended, and you'll see that is kind of a red flag. I would not do that. I would go the other way. So there is something called Google remarketing for search. So if somebody goes to your website and then they leave and then they go search for a competitor or something like that, that's a really good spot to use remarketing search campaigns. So you only put search campaigns in front of people who've already been to your website. Now you can use search campaigns kind of on the top of the funnel, on the bottom of the funnel, wherever you are. And sorry if this is marketer lingo. Bottom of the funnel means they've already been to your website. They've already shown interest. Top of the funnel is they've never come to your website before. So if they're searching for something, they're searching for, something where they're trying to solve their problem. Like if you're looking for consulting coach or funnel coach or whatever, funnel consultant, I want to put my ad there because that's how I help people. However, if they come to my website, and let's say there's a competitor out there. I don't want to, and let's say that I don't want to bid on that competitor kind of at the top of the funnel, but only if somebody visits my website, that's where you can utilize Google search. So like I said earlier, I don't have a ton of time. I've got a call here in about 10 minutes that I want to prepare for. So I'm not going to get too deep into the specifics. If you have specific questions on any of these, drop these in the comments below, because I can follow up. Each one of these, like literally each one of these topics probably deserves 30 minutes, right? YouTube, I could talk about YouTube remarketing for 30 minutes just because like YouTube is probably my favorite ad platform for the moment. But Google Display, I just put out a post on that today. Why I love Google Display, because you're not charged until somebody watches a full 30 seconds. So let's go on to the next one. For good measure, I will check the comments. There we go. I've got 2 comments. So Alexis says, Google Display sounds like a great branding tool. Can it be targeted in an area? Absolutely, Alexis. That is a great question. So you can geo-target. Doing this right now for a partner in Tennessee, where they're wanting to serve a specific zip code or area of zip codes. So I think it's like 15 zip codes. We just dial that in right there, so we can retarget people in that area and not spend money on anybody else. But we can also put our display ads to get people into the funnel. But like I said earlier, you're probably way better off using Google Display Ads as remarketing and not for top of funnel. Like, it's worked for me. It's going to take you some time. If you've got good design, then that's probably something. But the way that you actually drive people in through Google's display, which I've seen the best, is you're actually firing your display ads based upon keywords. So if somebody types in a specific query, they click on a search ad, that's fine. Google knows that they typed in that query, so you can put your display ads in front of them, and it kind of just follows them along the internet, whether you got that search ad click or not. So, okay. William has a question. I have a hindrance being in real estate. We are considered a special category and restricted to audience selection. I think this was probably for for Facebook and Instagram. Correct me if I'm wrong, William. But yeah, you have to go in when you're creating a remarketing campaign or a top of funnel campaign or anything in Facebook and Instagram. You always have to tick that special interest. But yeah, you can retarget and remarket on special interest. Not a problem at all. The way that you do this is you have to have a special audience. So when you go into your Facebook custom audiences, you'll just go in and you'll have this option of creating a special audience, or it's something like that. But you can create that same audience there. So it's there's basically just one extra step, and you can definitely use that. So, all right. I'm gonna kind of breeze through these last ones. Native ads with Adderall. So native ads are a really cool way of staying in front of people again. So native ads are mostly seen on like news websites. They look like news stories, but they're not. So again, this is a perfect spot to put remarketing ads. So you're not, I think it's kind of hard to generate good conversions, inbound conversions using native ads, but you should definitely use them on, yeah, perfect, William. You should definitely use them for remarketing and retargeting. Yeah, William said, thank you, I'll give it a try. Yes, do it on Facebook and Instagram. If you have a question, leave it below or ping me later. Like I literally have a client, actually 2 clients in real estate. So I do this, like literally I did it yesterday. So yeah, it's not that hard. I can send you a screenshot later. Just DM me or PM me or whatever it is, and I can help you there. So the last thing that I wanted to say is this one, and I have like 4 minutes to do this. So Twitter and LinkedIn remarketing. So here's the deal with LinkedIn remarketing. I love LinkedIn, don't get me wrong, but I don't really like remarketing on LinkedIn. I'm not a giant fan of running LinkedIn ads at the moment, just because I feel like it's better to use good organic content on LinkedIn, drive somebody to your website, and then you activate that machine by somebody clicking on your website. So remarketing on LinkedIn, I believe, costs a minimum of $30 a day, if I'm recalling this correctly. And I just think like $30 a day can go a long way if you devoted it to all of the other platforms. So you could set up this omnipresent, machine on Google Display, on Google Search, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. $30 a day is a lot. I mean, depending upon your budget. So you might be better off using it elsewhere first, and then kind of coming back to LinkedIn later. Now, Twitter, that's not the case. You can do a minimum ad spend of like $5 a day on Twitter, and that's going to be a great spot to do that. So here's the last thing that I'll leave you with, and we could probably talk about this next time, but before you go in and just set up this retargeting, remarketing, you have to have these pixels on your website. So if you are want to remarket or retarget, they're the same terms. It's just for different platforms. If you want to retarget people on Facebook, you have to have the Facebook pixel on your website. If you want to put ads back in front of people on YouTube, Google Display, Google Search, and all of that, you need a Google remarketing tag. If you want to do this on LinkedIn, I believe it's called the LinkedIn Insight tag. And then on Twitter, like it's a universal something. The way that you house all of these is through Google Tag Manager. And the good news is Google Tag Manager is not hard to set up. What you're able to do is basically copy and paste. You need to just get Google Tag Manager onto your website. I have a free course on that. That is in the description below. It shows you how to just copy and paste, get it into your website. And then from there, you house all of your pixels in Google Tag Manager. So think of kind of Google Tag Manager as this area where all of your pixels, your tracking systems, your Google Analytics, they all bottleneck here. And it kind of sends the information to everywhere from there. And that was kind of the major thing that helped me to kind of break through these last few years, is kind of learning how to kind of circumvent all of this back end coding nonsense. It's not nonsense, but when you want to go quickly and you don't want to have to deal with third parties, it's just a lot easier to kind of do this all on your own. And Google Tag Manager was the solution for that. So again, I've got the resource down below. The free coaching course covers Google Tag Manager, covers how to get a pixel on your website, but not the other ones, because there's just different things that you have to kind of set up on all of those. So Alexis, Google Tag Manager. Yeah, of course. So here's the deal. I'm going to sign off. I got to hop on a call. If you're watching this live, first of all, thank you. I appreciate all of the comments and the engagement. If you are watching this recorded, if you have a question about this, go ahead and drop it in the comments. And what I'll do is I'll just follow up probably tomorrow on this topic as well, because I think I've left a little bit out of here. So if you have a question or a comment and you're watching this recorded, go ahead and drop the comment and I'll try to address it in the live video tomorrow. But anyways, I hope you are well. William, Alexis, I really appreciate the comments and the engagement here. If you have questions, let me know. Happy to address them. Otherwise, grab that course free of charge. It's going to help you understand how to implement your analytics, how to map your conversions, how to set up your pixels, and how to actually connect clicks all the way to those conversions. I did a LinkedIn live on that a couple of weeks ago. So anyways, I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the